conditions here today. Hot potato. Yes, I've arrived in Leigh. Leigh is the hotbed of rugby league, no doubt, even though it's a small town, about 45,000 people population, but it certainly is a hotbed for rugby league. And we're here to watch Warrington Wolves take on Leigh Leopards tonight. I've got Mrs Waywell with me. She's probably instantly regretted this. Today's activities, we're going to go to the bingo. That's one of the highlights of Leigh. There's a Northwest Computer Museum, and then Pennington Flash. That's the plan for today. Only a short walk to the bingo. What we're looking to get out of the bingo, Mrs Waywell?
A couple hundred quid, hopefully.
Couple of £100. What are you going to spend your winnings on?
Electricity. Well, it does recommend you spend your winnings on, and this is where they get you. Why not treat yourself and all of your friends to a bottle of bubbly? Reinvest.
Reinvest. I wonder what sort of bubbly it would be.
Pomade.
Pomade Bingo. BJ's Bingo.
23, white 77, yellow 30, yellow 32.
I'm not going to keep up with that. Where's the best place to sit?
I like to go to the balcony.
On the balcony?
Yellow 36, white 73, blue 51.
So we've just been inducted. There's my screen. It's no dubber, as they call it. Is it a dubber? I've no idea what's going on. Mrs Waywell, what did they say on the phone when we walked in about us being new players?
2 newbies, they haven't got a clue.
They haven't got a clue. But they very kindly showed us what to do. Now this has come alive. And the guy's just come up on the stage. So I'm hoping it's going to slow down from that bloody automated version. Show us your prizes you've got.
Okay, your orange page is your first page, your cash pot page. As always, you're for
No idea.
By self, number 5. 68. 6 and 8, 68. 61. 6 and 1, 61.
It's gone quieter.
17.
So Mrs Waywell just stopped the game. You thought you had a line there, and when he asked you, 2 lines, and what did you have to shout next?
False.
False play. Excellent work. I wouldn't mind, but it's all automated anyway. So I've escaped the bingo, and I've come to the old mill in Leigh that houses the Northwest Computer Museum. Let's go and see what this is about. I've left her with me tickets. She'll probably not tell me if we win now either. Alright, let's see if we can get in here. Play a few games. Leigh, famous for its cotton mills, spinning mill, which is exactly what this was. And it has a community heritage centre. What a lovely little location. You can imagine this being turned into some kind of massive nightclub. Being at work. Flower 4. An old lift. Floor 4. Northwest Computer Museum. Here he goes. We've got a cinema in here.
Just getting ready for our grand opening, which is we come tomorrow.
Is this an Apple one?
Yes, it's a replica.
Right.
If we had an Apple one, we couldn't afford the insurance because Apple ones tend to go off between 1 and 1.5 million.
Really?
This gentleman here is the brains around that. He's actually built it himself.
Yeah, I mean that's it. When we say replica, it uses exactly the same. The circuit board has been recreated
Yeah.
to every single trace. and then all the chips are actually from a vintage, roughly the same period vintage chips as well. So
Right.
in a way, it is an Apple one,
Yeah.
just never made by Apple. Steve Wozniak was a geek, basically.
He was the one who was that side of it,
designed,
wasn't
yeah.
he? Steve Jobs was the front man, if you like, in that shapes and things like that.
His first thing, he started off making what was called phone phreaking in the States, where they played tones down the phones to get free telephone calls.
Right.
And then he used to design computers on paper. He was fascinated by it. We could never afford the components.
Yeah, yeah.
So he bought them, made up the prototype, and then his mate, Steve Jobs, who we've all heard of,
Yeah.
said, we can sell them.
Yeah.
They sold a minibus and a calculator, programmable calculator, got enough money, made the circuit boards, made the computers, went to the shop and delivered circuit boards.
Oh,
No keyboard,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
case,
yeah.
no power supply. Apparently the proprietor was a bit, where's the rest of it? But he honoured it, paid for them,
yeah.
and he made his own cases for them, which is why this sort of look has become iconic
Yeah.
as the first Apples. It should load from the disk drive. A demo is actually a real working floppy disk drive.
Return?
Yeah. It's a demo written by somebody in the last couple of years, and when I saw it, I could not believe it was running on a real cat. It just did not seem possible.
The classic. My keyboard was bent after playing Daley Thompson's Decathlon and smashing the buttons up there. No, Sonic the Hedgehog. Been a while. Not the best score. This is the games room. I've lifted shit. This was seen as state-of-the-art graphics at the time. I'm not good enough.
Have you been on before?
Never.
Never? No.
No.
I can actually see, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say that does make sense. It helps. I mean, if we all put them on, we'd all be just walking around.
So I'm going to put you on a shooting one. Shoot at the solo arcade, and off you go.
But if you run flat out into a wall, it's Joe's fault.
You quite happy there?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, crumb. Joe and Gary at the Northwest Computer Museum. How long have you been open for?
About 3 months.
3 months. And what's the concept of this museum?
Basically, to bring alive the retro computers from 1970 up to 1990.
Early 90s.
Early 90s. So you're 90s lads, really, aren't you?
Well, no, I'm 80s lads.
Oh, okay. You could more or less point to where you are on the scale of computers in here,
right
because
at the beginning.
yeah,
Right at the end, isn't
Yeah.
it? The first computer.
yeah,
Yeah.
and everything that you've got here is all usable and playable as well.
I mean, we've got roughly about 70 usable exhibits where you can actually sit down and get your hands on. Overall, we've got 200 exhibits which people can actually see.
I think it's a really good, unique little thing you've got going here, and I think more people.
You've been into our arcade.
Yeah. I had a quick go of the one I remember from a kid in an arcade where I used to go on holiday. That Ferrari he drives.
Yes, yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, that was futuristic graphics at the time. And then you look at it now, and that's what was fascinating me going round, looking at the graphics where, when you were younger, you used to think, wow, this is amazing. This gallery, I haven't got enough time to look at all the things, but it's quite a good place to come, this. It's got lots of studios and things like that. Pennington Flash. So do you know what a flash is? I think it's the result of a collapsed mine. Because there was a mine around here and then it collapsed and then basically it turned into a nature reserve. A big body of water. It's probably sat on old mines. I think that's what it is.
Really odd. That one does. The lunch menu does, but this has no prices on it.
Oh.
Which is really weird for a place like this. It's not going to be much, is it?
Well, I don't know. It might be
Shouldn't
very
think so.
posh.
Oh, yeah, sure. I just realised you're filming and I sounded like an utter snob again saying that.
That's what we're here. That's what we like to hear on Tacklebags.
What I like about Leigh
Oh, I like this.
is the sense of humour
Yes.
with the shop names.
Why? What shop names caught your eye?
Cafe All or Muffin.
Oh, right.
What was that cab one?
Avocab.
Avocab. I was half expecting to turn the corner and see Bev's Big Babs.
Yes, I know. We did talk about that with the spam.
Big spam barm.
No, that was right. We said Big Bev's Bats, Sam's Spam Flaps. That was right. Yeah. What about the bingo then? What was your overall opinion on the bingo? I got bored and I left.
To be honest, I just felt like I could have spent 30 quid a lot better than that.
Yeah.
I wish I hadn't upgraded now.
No, so
I was fleeced. What am I going to do with a stuffed fox?
Oh no, don't worry, because we'll give them away on Tacklebags. So any tap that I pick up, I give away as a major
What's
prize.
a lovely present? You've got a coronation mug,
Yeah.
a jumbo box of jelly babies, and a stuffed toy. Courtesy of BJ's Bingo.
Yeah.
Another good name.
Yes. So I dashed off to go to the Northwest Computer Museum, and I think you missed out there big time. And I tell you one thing, I played Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Mega Drive, because you can play all these things. And what was worrying is that I remembered level 1. It's sort of like in your brain.
I
it's
reckon,
like, when you're pressing the buttons, it's bizarre.
I had a SNES, and I think I'd be able to do that.
There was a SNES there.
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers. I
Yeah.
think I could probably breeze through the first level with that.
Yeah.
Muscle memory in your thumbs.
I know. We've had a lovely day in Leigh. Leigh is beautiful, especially like Pennington Flash area. Did I say Pennington Flash or Flesh? We're about to go back to the van now and do the prep for this evening's game. And our tactics are?
Attack! That's all you need to do. Score points. Attack.
Score points, attack.
If you're defending, you're doing something wrong.
If you didn't, you've got a grasp of this sport now, haven't you?
Same with any sport.
Now all prepared to have something to eat at the stadium. Hopefully the body can take whatever Leigh have to offer. So wish me luck. Thank you very much.
Bev's Babs.
Sam's Spam Flat. A real buzz. Is the weather a factor on how this feels? Because it feels brilliant, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
I mean, if it was pissing down and freezing cold like it was at Hull KR, then I would probably feel differently about it. But yeah. Okay, well, we'll go in. Things are looking good so far. And I'm hungry. So, Mrs Waywell, who do you think will be winners tonight?
What?
Who do you think will win tonight?
Ryan.
Oh wow.
vacuum.
That's it, get the doctor on it. We won't go back. That's it. 20 points to 12 at half time.
Very loud.
Half time entertainment. I'm flying in above the ground. Hope it's going to come.
Overlap.
You know, upset by something that's been said. Fucking mad. Why is the touch judge on the pitch again? That's it. 30 points to 12. 4 by Warrington.
Shower. Absolute shower.
Oh my goodness. Is that the worst you've seen so far?
That's the worst I've seen them play this season, absolutely.
Yeah. What would you pin it down to?
The thing is, I mean, they're a very clubby, really, but
Shh, we've not left yet. You can...
what?
You're on about?
What?
They're not. They're in the Super League.
Barely.
Barely. No, you've been drinking. Come on, let's get you back to that van for a bit of fun.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm drunk. I'm going to give you some fun. Right then, it's scoring time. First time up north as well, Mrs Waywell? What are you on about?
Well, you know, first time on the Tacklebags tour.
Oh, yeah.
You've only been to Cornwall and Catalans up until this stage. So
Yeah, practically a rugby virgin.
a rugby virgin. Okay. Well said with a straight face. On with the scoring, and first up, it's logistics. Leigh, a very small old mining town, I suppose. So when you think about the links, underdeveloped from the train links, bus station, quite well connected, road-wise, easy to get to, East
Very.
Lancs M6.
Very, yeah.
That was easy to get around as well, wasn't it? Yeah.
Even on foot.
Even on foot. Yeah, well, everything in Leigh is walkable. Parking,
Plenty of parking at the stadium itself and in town.
it was 24 hours, £5 in the centre of Leigh, which enabled you to just go and walk around everywhere. We did go to the bingo. On reflection, bingo was...
We could have, yeah, that was 3 hours that could have been condensed to probably 45 minutes. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I see what they're doing. They're trying to run a business and fleece you.
Yeah. But we did get some nice little presents, which will be the giveaway for this episode. So if you want the Charles mug or the Cuddly Fox, and what did you have? Cuddly what?
Hedgehog.
Hedgehog, yeah. Oh well, yeah. So yeah, that was good. I went to the Computer Museum, Northwest Computer Museum, which was walkable. I'd recommend going to that and seeing the guys there. It was a really novel idea that you can go and play around with all that equipment and all the old computers of the past. They're looking to try and raise that profile. They've got a little arcade, they've got the VR thing, brilliant idea. So there's something to do in Leigh. As well as going to see the rugby, so that was very good. But the logistic went to Pennington Flash on a walk. It was 3.3 miles round Pennington Flash, takes about 1 hour 20 minutes. That's a really nice place.
Yeah.
So that was good. So I think overall then, logistics, what would you sort of think about, you know, that criteria and feed that in?
Well, it's good being able to park for free, plenty of parking, and it's close to all the roads. Yeah, 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Logistics. The venue. ticket price, £27 each to get into Leigh. It seems on the high side, or well, there or thereabouts.
There were things, I think they had the really good intention, engaging everyone, trying to make it exciting, getting the kids involved, but they had things like fireworks in broad daylight. And personally, I think it would be better to reduce the ticket price a couple of quid each.
For the fireworks.
And just save that theatre for a big event. I mean, it is a big game for them, but I mean, you know, it's
A nighttime game. It makes sense.
Seem
But
appropriate.
it was a nighttime game, but the trouble is now it's summer. It's not.
Yeah, it's broad daylight though.
Yeah. Getting tickets, the website's a bit flaky, I have to say. I couldn't. Limited stand information. We were sat in the west stand, I think it was. Did feel quite close to the field though, didn't we?
Yeah.
So it was good. Couldn't really get the away fans for some reason, so that was a bit of a faux pas. Access, I wrote to the club. They did actually reply after me following up on the email, but they got back to me 4 hours before the match, so unfortunately I couldn't get any media accreditation for this match again. The stadium itself though, it's another one of these new stadiums where it's for me it's very sanitised. You know what you're going to get. How did you feel about that stadium? What was it? Anything stand out for you?
Well, no, nothing stood out with as much of a muchness in that respect. But the thing, there wasn't a lot of meeting space. Like the concourse was quite narrow.
Yeah.
You couldn't really gather there very much.
Yeah.
And also, they weren't making good use of the outside space either.
No, there was nothing really going on the outside, and you couldn't mix the fans again because once you were in that stand, you're in that stand.
And do you know what? Actually, they have got, because it's part of a bigger sports complex. There are fields for other outdoor sports right next to it. They could, they could convert that space.
Yeah.
To do something else with it.
Yeah, a bit like what we saw
day.
at Catalan and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Some Tacklebags ideas just to sort of give it a bit of individuality. Maybe put some oak beams in below the stand. Or a wishing well. You could have a wishing well there where people wish for their favourite player or a team to win or whatever it is, and then all that money is collected up and distributed to a local charity. How's that?
That's a nice idea.
That's a good idea, isn't it? That's a Tacklebag idea. You can have that one. And the other Tacklebag idea, to just give that individuality, is about having a fan's photo wall. You send in your picture, and then you can go looking for your picture on the wall and stuff. Maybe you can theme it.
Have a little tribute to a family member or something.
Yeah, or a leopard. And obviously that could be moderated, so there's no dick pics and stuff like that in there as well. So that would be another Tacklebag idea, just to give the stadium some individuality once you're in there, because otherwise you could be anywhere. Game excitement. Well, you know what? I wrote this down. Leigh dominated. I would have expected a response from Warrington being at the top of the table, and it just didn't happen. So the game excitement, how did you feel about the game? It wasn't like the Catalan for you, was it? Lacklustre, yeah. So really, the overall venue in your experience, what would you give that as a out of 5?
3, I think. Middle of the road.
3, middle of the road.
Yeah. Plenty toilet.
Sustenance. It's food and drink. Now I did the food and you did the drink.
Yeah.
Now, I used to live in Leigh, and I remember, about 20 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever, they had 3 independent pie shops, and they were absolutely brilliant. And so, it's not far from Wigan. I know you don't want to be associated with Wigan, Leigh, but you're not that far, but you are good at pies. Now, you go into the stadium, you're going to get this, that's your lot, it's standard, and it's pies. And it's Peter's pies. And where are Peter's pies from?
South Wales.
I mean, come on, Leigh, Wigan, connection, pies, and yet it's a commercial decision, isn't it? It's got to be. I think it should be a local provider for pies, certainly. So that's a downside. I did try a Peter's pies. You did question it. You said, well, you did say, what's in it? And I replied, grey matter. Not impressed. However, the drinks, you enjoyed the drinks.
Oh, expensive. What was it? Carlsberg. Some brown Tetley's type drink.
Bitter.
Oh, a bit, yeah.
Or an ale.
Yeah.
Brown
and smooth. They were all £5. And again, it's like with the pie topic. you've got loads of local microbreweries and things like that. I mean, maybe that couldn't support the volume of drink you want to sell there. I don't know, but it's a missed opportunity again to promote something local.
It is to just get someone stood in a corner with a barrel and say, right, you know.
Oh yeah, you
50
could
pints.
say, yeah, there's a bar there, or you can come over here and
Yeah, I agree. I think overall, I wasn't particularly impressed. But I mean, I've regurgitated my pie story to you. What would you give it for Sustenance?
2.
2 out of 5. It's time for fan engagement. Leigh have prided themselves on terms of how they put on a show. It was a band called Jeremiah Ferrari, but I've not a band I've heard of before. But I was quite impressed. I thought they were good.
Yep, they were good. They had quite a long set as well, which was nice.
They did,
as well.
yeah. I mean, they were on for about 45 minutes before kick-off, so that was good. And they came on at half-time as well. So that was something to listen to, and there was a Leigh fan dancing in front of us as well, wasn't there?
Oh, she had a good time.
She did have a good time. I've got a feeling that she wasn't drinking Carlsberg at £5 a pint. I think it was some kind of like Mad Dog 2020. That aside, that was good. They had a big screen.
Yep.
What was wrong with a big screen for you?
Well, we enjoyed a little session of Spot the Clock. Sat in our seats because we couldn't see it anywhere. We did eventually find it, but so
a little digital affair on the other stand. It was just about visible.
I think, word of advice would be, can you please put the clock on the screen?
And maybe rather than just having seconds, do it to the thousandth of a seconds, because like when you see that ticking down so fast, it adds a bit of tension. So there's another Tacklebags idea there. The other thing about fan engagement is that there are pubs in Leigh. They've got one just right next to the stadium called...
it was something like the Winking Monk.
Right, okay. Well, it was actually called the Whistling Wren. Winking Monk was something that may have come later. Anyway, they've got a dedicated pub in Leigh. It used to be called the Centurions, but now it's called the Leopards Den. So obviously that's where all the fans can go. We chose to go to Robin Hood. Don't know why that came in. But we went to that one. That was nice. Sat outside there. So that was good. They had a shop in the market. And not only at the ground, they had the shop in the market. We had a look round. We nearly bought a mug. Nonetheless, there's plenty of opportunity to get your Leigh stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the leopard flags on the way in. Obviously promoting the club. That was pretty cool. I like that, actually.
Yeah. I think there was a lot. The rebranding exercise has been quite successful for Leigh, and I think it works really well. It's certainly sort of, when you think of Leigh, you're thinking of the rugby, maybe in the top 3 things that behind the bingo and the the computer museum, doing a really good job on the branding. So I think fan engagement. What would you say for fan engagement then?
Oh, lots of effort's gone into that. 4.
Okay, fan engagement, 4 out of 5. Atmosphere. So, Leigh, I didn't pick up any particular songs that they had. Did you hear any chants?
No, not that springs to mind. Not just the usual.
No. Warrington were definitely their usual best on the away game. They had the drum going and certainly got the team going before the match.
I think actually the Warrington fans were responsible for any atmosphere that was created during the game. It was really them.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe that was because we were at that end. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it was intense, but I mean, the game itself, as we've already mentioned, wasn't probably the best. So that has some factor to it. Fans were friendly enough, actually more so than probably where I felt at other places. And it was actually quite relaxed, wasn't it?
Yep.
Do you think it was the sunshine that made the difference?
Oh, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone, enjoying a few pints at the Whispering Monk beforehand.
Winking Monk, you said.
Whatever I said.
How's that wine? Delightful.
Yeah, it's affecting my memory.
Oh dear, that's probably a good thing now you've been up north. Atmosphere. What would you say for atmosphere then? I mean, it's a funny thing because the game wasn't like
the game taints your view.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
Did
try.
The Carlsberg taint your view?
Not really, no. 3.
Atmosphere. 3 out of 5. I didn't notice any swearing, did you?
No, but I'm starting to notice everywhere we go, people shout wanky wanky Warrington at us.
At least they're not saying wanky wanky Waywell.